Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of U.S. History Made Plain. I'm a high school history teacher trying to make history as fun and interesting for my students as possible. Okay, so it's after the election in 1860 and the Democrats still have control of Congress and they have control of the Supreme Court, but Abraham Lincoln was just elected as president. However, James Buchanan, who was in office, is now a lame duck president and will be there for 5 more months before Lincoln actually takes over. So during that time, South Carolina felt like, this is an issue. We already talked about this. If Lincoln becomes president, we said we were going to leave. So yes, there is still a Democratic majority in the government, but they felt like Lincoln was a threat enough for them to secede. So South Carolina met at a convention and voted to unanimously secede from the Union immediately. So they left. And then 6 other states followed suit within the next 6 weeks: Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas. In February of 1861, those 7 states that seceded actually met in Montgomery, Alabama, and they decided to become the Confederate States of America. So this new nation had their own constitution, which they kind of geared after the U.S. Constitution. However, they had a few things that were a little bit different because those states wanted states' rights. They wanted to make sure that each state had the autonomy to still govern themselves, and they did not like what was happening with the North. They felt that they had the right to secede and make their own nation because the North was becoming a tyrant, becoming a tyranny, and they didn't like that. So in their constitution, they were going to allow for slavery to exist and allow for states to still have, control over what they do. In their constitution, they limited the government's ability to impose tariffs. They know that tariffs were the part of the reason why their economy was going down. So in their constitution, they made sure you could not impose protective tariffs. The Confederate States of America elected Jefferson Davis from Mississippi as their president and Alexander Stephens from Georgia as their vice president.